So you don't know what is on the other side, what is on the flip side of the coin until you take that step. So there is a lot of benefit with studying abroad. Do not be afraid to take that. So I believe you when you say that your organization really does hold people's hands and walks them through the entire process. Get in touch with Vantage Migration. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Linda. You've shared quite a lot. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, my dear. Happy to see you again on a live video like this. You know,
so one fun fact.
Go ahead.
One fun fact for everyone. Linda and I have been friends for over, I think, 10 years, but we have not met each other.
Wait.
Like, we've not met each other.
Didn't you meet
right,
in Lagos?
Linda?
Didn't you meet in Lagos?
No.
We did not meet in Lagos.
I can't remember.
I think we met once. This me, just try to remember. Like, I think I saw you in Lagos, I think, for the alumni network that they had or something. I don't know. I'm not sure either. I'm not sure, but I think that was the first time we met, whether we met digitally or we met live. I can't remember again.
I think we met digitally. So several times we were to meet physically and it just didn't work out. But I'm so glad to be on this live session with you.
Aww.
Yes.
That was excellent.
Thank you everyone for your patience. Thank you for joining in.
Yeah.
We'll get right into our discussion for today.
Exactly.
By way of introduction, Dr. Linda Iheme is a PhD researcher. She's an international education consultant.
Thank you.
She's a dentist. Yes. And not just that, she's the leading consultant helping thousands of graduates across the world to secure admission, and not just admission, but scholarships to study for postgraduate diploma, master's, and PhD. And I was going to share this at this live session, just for those who can make it down here. But I'm currently pursuing my PhD research program at a school in Canada, and Dr. Linda Iheme made it happen. I'm going to share that testimonial much later. But yeah, I'm so excited for her and the work that she does. It's incredible work. And we didn't bring her on board Opportunity Desk for some kind of fun or anything. We brought her on board because we know the stuff she's made of, we know the value she's giving out there, and we know the passion with which she's giving it out. And we trust that you too can be a beneficiary. You too can, share your own testimony tomorrow. Every day I come on Instagram, I see one success story or the other, and I'm like, OD users need to be part of this, because I am one of them, and I'm so grateful to Dr. Linda. Thank you so much, Linda, for joining us.
Thank you. And let me say something.
Yes.
First of all, I want to thank you for how you protect your audience, right? Because some people, they're like, okay, I have this audience, whatever I bring to
today. We're talking about postgraduate studies, right? And we didn't just say graduate programs, we said postgraduate programs. I'm sure there's a reason for that. So tell us, why postgraduate studies? Why is it even important, and why should OD users and people, recent graduates across the world, start thinking about advancing their studies, taking postgraduate degrees or courses abroad? Why should they even study abroad?
Well, thanks for the question. And let me start by saying that when it comes to graduate studies, because we work with graduates, and just like you said, there are a lot of reasons why somebody should pursue graduate studies in the first place, right? And then I can extend it to, why they should pursue it abroad. Like, for example, after your undergraduate studies and you're working somewhere, I mean, it is no news that most times when it reaches things like, okay, who is going to be a manager in this, in this office, who is going to be the HOD of that department, then they start looking for people with advanced degree, be it masters or sometimes PhD, depending on the level of the position. So this means that for people to really stand out at workplace, right, there is need for an advanced degree. First of all, whether they are doing it in their home country or they are doing it abroad, that's just one way. However, doing it abroad, doing it abroad has its own advantages. For example, even if this person wants to work in their home country, the fact that they studied abroad also give them that opportunity to, you know, broaden their horizon, even if it's, let's say, in a particular field. Let's say somebody studied engineering, and for example, let's say they studied engineering in Ghana, right? So they will know a lot of things that has to do with engineering as far as their country is concerned, and less of what happens in another place. So when they go out to study abroad, especially high income countries, because high income countries often have I would say advanced knowledge, because the system already has some advanced thing incorporated into it. So this person is able to see things from the perspective of a country that is operating at a higher level. A lot of employers know that when somebody study abroad, and the fact that they've gotten advanced knowledge, or they've broadened their horizon, when you bring them at workplace, they tend to offer something that people who just studied in that country sometimes may not be able to offer, even if it's just a difference in opinion. And on the average, employers are looking for somebody who is going to add to the diversity of the team. You see, so if everybody studied in one place, and then you studied in that same place, plus you studied in another place, right? It gives you an edge, especially as far as work is concerned. That's number one, looking at it from the work angle.
Yeah.
But there's other things for as an individual as well, right? Because studying abroad, okay, let me give example with myself. Like I travel a lot, of course. That's how I met Grace for the first time, when with this connection with the US sponsoring us for that initial time for study of United States Institute for Student Leaders, right? I know you eventually went on to Yali, and you know you did awesome, and you're still doing amazing work. So at that point, somebody said to me, you know, there was a time I was talking to somebody at US Embassy. I said, oh, Yali. I said, don't worry, Susie was the Yali of your time. You know, so Susie was also great at that point. But having traveled a lot, you will see that even for me as a person, there are things that I have seen that somebody who is just in one place have not seen, and these things have affected how I do my things. Okay, let me give you an example. I came to Canada to study. I studied in Nigeria. That's where I got my dental degree. So I came to Canada to study my postgraduate studies, and in the process, in Nigeria, online study was not a thing like that, right? Like you go to class and you study. That's how we do it. At least in my school, I went to University of Benin. But by the time I came abroad to study, I did a lot of online study. You see, this kind of broadened my horizon when it comes to online study. How to create an online course, how to do it in such a way that is effective for the learner. You know, where I come from, for example, the majority of what happens day to day is the teacher teaching me, right? And it's like, oh, I don't know anything, and the teacher have to teach me, you know, for me to get something. But I noticed that when you come abroad and you're studying abroad, there's that teacher teaching you, one, but they also create room for you to teach the teacher, because they want to hear your opinion. So in class, I saw myself giving perspective from Nigeria, which the teacher didn't know, because they have not lived in Nigeria. That's two. Then they also create room for students to learn from other students, right? That's like learner to learner learning. Yes. So because of that, I saw that, oh, it's not just the way they teach in Nigeria that is the way to teach. I can also bring something from the way they teach abroad. You know, that is even what helped us when at Vantage Migration, we needed to create online course. We had to create it with the abroad standard. If I had studied only in Nigeria, for example, only, I probably wouldn't have that knowledge to do something that would transform my company. So this is how studying abroad sometimes can have advantages even beyond whether you're able to get a job from an employer or not. It broadens your horizon, and nobody actually even know the extent to which that can help you survive in life as an individual. So this is like number 2 reason why people should do their postgraduate studies abroad.
Absolutely. It sounds really interesting. I like how you can identify both the professional and
Mm-hmm.
personal advantage
Mm-hmm.
studying abroad
Yeah.
has for anyone, who is open to it.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from, I mean, you learn best
Yeah.
practices and it helps you in your professional life, in any
Mm-hmm.
other
That,
initiative that you plan
yeah.
to roll
Yeah.
out, after studies.
Mm-hmm.
And then it of course helps, it just broadens your
Mm-hmm.
mindset. It allows you to really deeply explore issues from the perspective of other
Yeah.
cultures, other countries that have probably even gone ahead of
Mm-hmm.
you in your own. I don't know what country you're watching
Yeah.
from, but whatever it is can be better.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn how it's done in another
Yeah.
place, and then you can apply those learnings to your own activities back home.
Exactly.
Yes, thank you, Linda.
Thank
Mhm,
you. And
mhm.
I think let me give you
Thank.
a third reason why somebody should study abroad,
Okay.
especially for postgraduate studies. The thing is that abroad, talking from experience as well, when people come and let's say maybe you came for a conference, of course, I know that, for example, before I went abroad to study, I traveled a lot. I've said that several times. That's how I met Grace. Okay, I traveled a lot. So sometimes, you travel 4 days, and months, 5 weeks, and usually it's for a short period of time. But sometimes people want to, go to it and leave. I also feel that a lot of time when it's easy to not even want to travel abroad or live abroad if you have not traveled at all. So for people like
Mhm.
for your audience that they are used to traveling for conferences and all that, most of the time you see how things are done somewhere else, you're like, okay, maybe I can just stay 1 year, and do something. So you want to maybe live there temporarily or you want to live there permanently. So that is the immigration component. So one thing is that as an
Okay.
international student, one, they treat you well abroad because you are treated as an expatriate, because they know that, okay, something. This is different from somebody, yeah, going abroad and suddenly disappearing, you know what I mean, like any other way, or coming like maybe, oh, I just want to do some menial jobs. You are treated well because they know that you are a student, you are studying, so you are like at the top 10% of the society, right? That's the way the international
Mm,
students is looked at. So because of this, a lot of countries prioritize international students when it comes to immigration. A country like Canada,
awesome.
like US, even UK, like recently UK updated their policy so that when students finish studying in UK, they can like guaranteed you stay for 2 years. Then within that period, if you're able to say, oh, I like this place, I want to work there, I want to live there, I want to bring up my family there, yeah, then you can stay. Same thing happens for Canada, where students, international students or people who studied in Canada are given
Mm,
priority when it comes to immigration. So Canada
mhm.
has this thing they call express entry that is so popular. But what some people don't know is that there is
Yeah,
a special route for international students, created
for
for international
students.
students to quicken, and that
Mm,
route is faster, is easier, because that still boils down to the same thing I'm saying, that international students are treated as expatriates. So because of that, every country is kind of making ways for them to easily integrate into the country. So if you are looking at immigrating to a country to live there temporarily or to live there permanently, going through study abroad is a very legitimate, I will say is the fastest, easiest and surest way to do so. Yeah, especially with
yes,
this. Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you, especially when you say that they just as a
Mm-hmm.
student in these times of a global
Mm-hmm.
lockdown because of the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. You find that a lot of countries have shut down,
Yeah.
to visitors, to
Mm-hmm.
tourists. But then if you're a student with a student visa, you have a
Mm-hmm.
pass. You can travel.
Yeah.
You can go and resume.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of students have had to travel this period and they've been accepted into those countries. They even have special treatment for
Mm-hmm.
quarantine and all of
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, there's no better time to be an international student studying abroad than now.
Yeah.
The advantages are just way too many.
Yeah.
So thank you so much,
Thank
Linda,
you.
for highlighting those.
Thank you.
Now to the main question of funding, because I know that most people who are watching right
Mm-hmm.
now and who would watch this video much later
Mm-hmm.
would be doing so to answer that question of
Yeah.
funding. It always comes up. I remember when I was applying and I saw the school fees for my
Yeah.
program, I was just like, oh my goodness. do people really pay this much? You know, there was international fees and then there was domestic fees.
Exactly.
And then we just, with your help, I found a way around it. And today I'm paying domestic fees and not international fees. And even those fees are covered by, you know, the institution.
Yeah.
So what can people do to access funding?
Yeah.
What is your advice? I also know that a lot of people first get admission and then they start looking for funding. Is that something that is advisable? Because I always tell people, I don't think you should find the admission first and then look for funding. I don't know. Or should they look for the both at the same time so that, you know, they go hand in hand? So please advise us on this question of funding so that we can get it right.
Okay. So for anyone that is listening to us right now, the first thing I want to tell that person is that funding is possible. Funding is feasible. And when I mean possible, it's not those kind of things that only superheroes do, right? I studied, you know, I got a master's admission, PhD admission on full funding. Grace herself, PhD full funding. So it is possible. So it's like they're looking at living witnesses of whatever it is that we are sharing today, right? It's possible. The first one is coming to the question you asked about admission, whether admission first before scholarship or vice versa. So both of them actually works. There are some schools that you get the admission first and then you sort out the funding. But the disadvantage of that is then the funding is not guaranteed, right? Like it's not guaranteed. You may or may not find it. However, there are also some scholarships where by the time first you don't even need a different application in order to get the scholarship, and you apply to the school, and when your admission is coming, it's coming like admission and scholarship put together in the admission letter. And these are the ones I said most times they are hidden. They are hidden because if you just go on the internet and type like whatever course that person studied, let's say the person studied arts or humanities, and you say scholarship for people in humanities, like they're just going to see the popular ones. And one good thing about one thing about the popular ones is that as you are seeing them, so is every other person seeing them, and everybody is applying to them.
So competitive.
Very competitive. Yeah. So the percentage of people applying versus the people getting are so tiny that you ask yourself, is it even worth my time? Yeah, you can try it, right? But there are better ways, there are easier ways where you apply for admission and you get the admission and the scholarship. Now, one thing though is that unlike the popular scholarships, let me give an example, say Chevening scholarship, Commonwealth scholarship, right? Yeah. These ones, they have a specific, like this kind of popular scholarships, they have specific names. Meaning that, like, I can tell somebody, go and search for Chevening scholarship, and maybe you will see the official website and you just go. But for those hidden scholarships, they don't have specific name. Different schools are offering different scholarships. So this means that the person, we have to learn how to find those scholarships. We have to learn how to find the schools, because it's not even about, like, it's not that, oh, I'm so cruel, I can't just give you a name, because there's no name to give. Like, if I have to even, and it's different for different persons. Like, if you studied social works and you want to get the scholarship, the kind of scholarship, the school, the department is going to be different from somebody who studied public health, from somebody who studied law, from somebody who studied, pharmacy. So it's like different scholarships, different schools, different departments. So this makes it very difficult for somebody to just say, you know what, take this name. So when we realized this challenge, that was when we now said, okay, let's create a system where we are going to teach people how to find the hidden scholarships that fit their background, the hidden scholarships for their course, for the, depending on whatever program they want to go for, right? And this was exactly how I came to Canada, because that was how I discovered it. Before then, I wanted to travel abroad. All I did was, go to the internet, look for agents, start visiting. First of all, they were telling me no scholarship, right? And you know how they say when you hear something repeatedly, you start believing it. I graduated all this while I was hoping for scholarship. Oh yes, I'll just get scholarship. By the time I visited one agent, they say, scholarship, leave that one first. We'll manage to get your admission. Number 2 place, I thought like, okay, leave those people. Second place, the same thing. Third place, the same. Fourth place, I actually had to in my mind forsake my scholarship dreams and then start saying, okay, how do I get admission? Because that was repeated over and over again to me. That's why these days, when I come live for like an info section like this, I want to tell anybody that is listening that, first of all, scholarship is possible. Even though that sentence looks very small and tiny and, you know, very short. I wish somebody told me that, because I had to start believing all these lies that there are no scholarships, right? So
okay, so Linda, you've talked a lot about scholarships, and I know that that is just one way of getting funding.
Yeah.
Are there other ways that people can explore, especially if they're not able to get scholarships?
Yeah, there are other ways. For example, some schools offer you jobs, like to work inside the school. So I had a client who got like partial scholarship, right? But the partial scholarship could not cover everything. So she, by the time she interacted with the school, they referred her to this place where it's still in connection to the school. So she got a job, and that job, what they were paying her was going to cover like 70% of her education. So this meant that with the partial scholarship and the job, it becomes easier for her to cover her expenses. Yeah. So getting job from the school is one way that people cover their stuff. Now another way is that there are study loans as well, and I'll always divide it into like local loans and international loan. So on ground, let's say for example, banks like Wema Bank offer student loan for people that want to travel abroad. Of course, terms and conditions will always apply as regulated by the bank.
Oh, interesting.
Of course. Then there are other organizations like I once talked with the owner of Aeropay. I don't know if you know the Aeropay Inc. Aeropay. So Aeropay, they also have study loan, depending on, or sometimes you may need a particular amount, they may not be able to give you up to that, right? Depending on what is feasible. Sometimes, because they have, especially the local loans, because they have limited budget or something that is not limitless, right? So sometimes you may come and they'll be like, oh, no loan now, and another time, after some time, loan will become available again. You know, these are the local ones, and there are many others. I always say, if somebody have gotten admission already and they are looking for loan, they can reach out to us, like maybe via any of the social media handle, Dr. Linda Iheme, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. They can reach out to us and chat us inbox, and we can, give them like the contact details of these ones. And there are other options. However, we have also noticed that the local loan providers are less reliable compared to the international loan providers. For people that eventually come in and they go through our Vantage Scholarship School, which is where we do training, or like in-depth training for somebody that wants to go abroad to study, we teach them how to secure those international loans, because there are just small things to take note of, just to make sure it's successful.
So I hope you all heard what Linda said. Apart from scholarships, which you can apply for while you are applying for your admission, you also have the chance to get a job, whether it's a teaching assistantship or it's a research assistantship or some kind of job within the university. You also have the chance to get or access student loans. And those loans can be a bit difficult to find, but Vantage Migration has made it easy. So if you send them a message on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, they're able to respond and give you a list of recommended organizations that provide student loans for international students. I think you should explore those opportunities. They are very important. And there is nothing to be scared of. If you get a loan, then of course you make up your mind to work and repay that loan, right? What matters is your determination to get what you want. I think that's what matters.
Can I comment on that? So about
of
that
course,
loan, because I noticed that a lot of people, when I talk to them about loan, they say, they're like, how will I, especially when they see the loan and they're like, I want to go and collect a loan of $25,000. Like to an average, person struggling, they have not made $25,000 the whole of their working time. So they're wondering, like, I can't even take this loan. So you see that a lot of people, even when they see loan, they don't want to for somebody to pay back study loan if they study abroad and stay in abroad to work after their study. So people should, I understand that fear. There's another client of mine that went to UK. I was talking with her recently, and she said something to me. She said, so before she left, there were times when she had to collect maybe loan from somebody, individuals, right? So at the end of the day, she's like, she got her first salary. She got her first salary, and she was able to pay back almost everybody she has been collecting money from for the past 1 year, like with first salary. And she was like, wait,
wow,
what is going on here? So it's like, all this money I've been trying to borrow, you mean one salary I can pay back almost everything? So that's how it is. So the fear is normal, but people should understand that, don't worry, that fear is not real. It's not real. Yeah.
Okay, so there's this question. I mean, there are several questions, but there's one that always comes. But just before I ask that question and then leave the room open for other questions, I'd like you to tell us what we can do going forward. For someone listening to us today, what can they do to get started on their study abroad journey?
Yeah.
What does Vantage Migration have to offer, and what steps can they take right now?
Yeah. Okay, thank you for asking. So what we do is we train the person who wants to go abroad on exactly what to do and how to do it to be able to secure admission and scholarship by themselves, right? So this is what we do, and to do that we do like an intense training. But obviously the first thing we want this person to do is to understand what is involved when it comes to study abroad. We don't even want anybody jumping into any training without understanding what is involved, without understanding what it entails, and how things work abroad. So because of that, what we actually do is that we ask people to attend our free webinar. This webinar is very detailed. Let me warn anybody listening ahead of time. Let me warn them that this webinar is about an hour plus, right? It's very, very detailed. So we created the webinar, and the webinar is free. We created the webinar to make sure that people get the information they need to help them make the decision they need to make. And truly, somebody can attend the webinar, and at the end of the day, just having understood how things and study abroad works, they can go out on their own and search on the internet, and know exactly what to do. However, of course, we encourage people to leverage on Vantage Migration, because it's like I have suffered. I spent several years to be able to find out this part, and my team is there to assist. So it's like, the way I look at it is, why does the person want to do another 3 years on that journey when they can take
exactly?
I mean, that's not. I know humans.
Why make that mistake? Why make that mistake when you can avoid it? And that's what I say to people. If someone has experienced it, you can learn from that experience and avoid some of those pitfalls, those holes and those things that can draw you back or slow you down. So thank you very much. If you are listening to Dr. Linda, she's saying that there is a free webinar organized by Vantage Migration. It's 1 hour long, 60 minutes long. The link is currently in the comment section, and it's pinned. So please go there, click on it, and register for the free webinar. And Linda is assuring us that just by listening to that webinar, you are even able to take action. You're able to get started. It has all the details that you would need to start applying or searching for the right schools, applying for admission and for funding opportunities. So thank you so much, Linda. There's a question that people ask all the time in my inbox, in Opportunity Desk inbox. They send us emails, and right now someone has also asked in the comment section. Is the fact that a lot of people go ahead to apply for admission in universities, especially in the UK, but all over the world. And after they have applied, they get unconditional offers. So some people end up getting unconditional offers from 2, 3, 4 institutions. But the challenge has always been funding. So for people like this, what exactly can they do to secure funding? I know that there are a number of options. You have shared some of them already, but if you want to just give us point by point,
I understand.
brief answers on what they can do exactly.
So yeah, what I'm going to look for an example. So if you go to markets to buy rice, cooked rice, I don't know for whoever does not eat rice, but there are, like, let's say for Nigerians, let me use Nigeria for example. There's jollof rice and there's stew rice, right? Like white rice and then there is stew on top. Hey God, I wish somebody understand what I'm explaining. So if you go for jollof rice and then you say, when you finish, you're like, give me stew. It's like you already missed it. If you were in line, you are in the jollof rice line. You're asking for stew. It's like what you need to do is go back to the line, join the rice and stew line. You know. So when you go there, they'll give you rice and then they'll give you stew. And you know, and you won't beg for stew on the rice and stew line because rice and stew is there. But if you join jollof line and you are asking for stew, you just feel like nobody is answering you. But madam, jollof often does not come with stew, and they'll say if you buy jollof rice and you ask for stew, you have trust issues. Okay, now let me break it down to real life. So what I see is that, you know, when we're talking about some admission that comes with scholarship and those that you have to get the admission first, then you start looking for scholarship. And I explained that if you go that route of finding admission first and then you start looking for scholarship, you run the risk of not getting the scholarship because it's not guaranteed. First of all, let me say that for, I don't know who is in the comment section, like what, the links we typed. The link is www.vantagemigration.ca. And Vantage is VANTAGEMIGRATION.ca. So www.vantagemigration.ca. So that's the place to go for the free webinar. All right. Okay. So the point now, coming to the question you asked, is this person, in my opinion, if they really want scholarship, I need them to retrieve their steps. You know, because no matter how far you have gone on the wrong lane, you are not getting to your destination. You are on the wrong lane. The simple thing is return back to where that road bifurcated and take the other right lane. You see? But sometimes they find it difficult. It's almost as if, hey, I've already gotten the admission. Can I just get the scholarship? And I'm trying to explain to the person, my dear, this admission you got does not come with scholarship. So stop looking for scholarship.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing.
Yes. You see, so Linda, as you were speaking, I just remembered, you know, I got for my master's program before I settled for my university, I got admission to a university in the UK, right? And it was so easy. And there was an internal scholarship I was expecting from my institution. That scholarship didn't come through, even though I was at the final stage, right? But then I did a reality check and I knew that there was nothing that was going to happen. There was no magic that was going to happen to get me the money I needed to go to that university in the UK for my master's program. And so I retraced and I started finding other schools that were affordable for me. I found one and I enrolled. And I don't regret that decision, because if you try to force yourself to attend those schools just because you have the admission, it's very easy to get admission. It's not difficult. So if you force yourself to want to go to those schools, you find yourself wasting resources, spending everything that you have, and it eventually may not turn out as you want. So if you already have admission from these universities, you have two options basically. Linda is saying retrace your steps. Come back to the starting point and look for schools and admissions that come with funding.
Yeah. You can't say.
Or you have the other option of just going ahead and finding money somewhere. You know? You can start a GoFundMe account.
Those are the realities, and we have to come to terms with it. It's not for us to just stay there and like you're in a place. They are not giving you scholarship. You are looking for scholarship. 2 years has passed. They are doing the same thing over and over again, and no magic is going to happen. And you pointed out something great. I think that was the third option I was supposed to add to the funding possibilities. You know, we talked about scholarship, and we talked about, you know, getting work from the school. We talked about study loan. Another tip is that people are able to get admission from schools that are affordable. So you will see that for the same MBA, that's, for example, for the same MBA that somebody is saying pay $50,000 for 1 year, another good renowned school we say pay $10,000. That is $40,000 difference right there. You know, and that can be the difference between making your dream possible versus not going with the admission. So getting admission in schools that are good but their tuition are ridiculously cheap is one great way. Sometimes when people see cheap tuition, you know the way our brain play tricks on us, it's like, if the school fees is lower, it means it's a bad school. No. Do you know that
not at all?
I would say that
some of those schools actually offer the best education, yes, because they're less competitive. The teachers have enough time to do one-on-one sessions because there are not many students there. If I were you, I would stop looking at Ivy League schools. I would stop looking at rich schools. I'm telling you, for your peace of mind, go to those schools that are seemingly unpopular, and you see yourself popular, and you see yourself standing out. And trust me, it's the same quality of education, same quality.
And again, another thing you will see is that sometimes a school is doing so much great work that they become subsidized by the state or by an organization. So it could be that they are so good that their programs are subsidized by an external body. So it's not always that if they are charging 5,000 from the student, that it is 5,000 that the education costs. Another body may have subsidized that program because they saw that, wow, this program is great. This program is awesome. So let's make more people take advantage of it. So and to that, there are softwares actually that can help, because sometimes when we say look for cheap schools, it's like, where the hell am I going to find those schools?
Where are they?
Where are they? So one thing we've added to Vantage Scholarship School right now is that we introduce clients to softwares that can help them. So these softwares, let's say you put let's use an example. I always love to use art example because I'm from science background. I use science example, and people from art will be like, what about us? Okay, so let's say you write political science and you want to go for political science masters. Okay, now there are softwares that when you put political science, they'll bring political science programs, and of course you can filter and say, okay, master's program and other related programs. But not just that, they are able to rank the school fees of the programs that are coming up from the different schools.
From the lowest to the highest.
So that you can see, oh, there are 15 programs. This one is $10,000. This one is $5,000. This one is, they rank it for you. So it makes life very, very easy. This is why, like, I can bet with anyone that, like, if you come to Vantage Scholarship School, getting admission is like, people get multiple. But we all know that getting admission is just a tiny bit of it. Funding the education is the huge portion.
It's a huge part.
Yeah,
exactly.
A huge part.
And just so that, some people, I can make them feel happy, right? I'm speaking now as a student, and Linda, I know you know what I'm talking about. Since I got my admission and the funding that I received, I tell you, I have received even more funding, sometimes funding that I didn't have to apply for. So I was just sitting on my own and I got an email saying, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we understand the struggles, we understand how much effort you students are making, and so we are awarding you so and so amount, just to ease the stress of the pandemic. And I'm like, what? This is amazing. So you don't know what is on the other side, what is on the flip side of the coin, until you take that step. So there is a lot of benefit with studying abroad. Do not be afraid to take that step. Start with finding the right school. Start with applying for scholarships and admission. And once you get in, you're going to get even more funding. It will come. You'll be tired of getting funding. Okay, so Linda, we have another question that I would like you to answer very quickly, and then before we go. So someone is asking if people with say lower grades, like second class, lower third class, really bad, maybe not so good results, let me use that word, if they have any chances of getting scholarships, are there any opportunities for them?
There are.
I know you had talked about this some time ago, but if you would like to share.
There are, and there are. Let me try to look for the easiest way to explain it. One, for a lot of systems abroad, your grade is not the only way you are defined. So I will say I categorize other stuff as non-transcript related documents, right? So when people are grading admission, they put so much effort. I mean, the admission committee, they put so much mark, huge portion of that mark on the non-transcript documents, your CV, your motivation letter, any other document they ask you to submit, your reference letter. All these things have to be top notch. That is one other thing that we do at Vantage Scholarship School. So when somebody have third class or second class lower, some people, they don't even start their travel abroad journey because they feel like, man, it has ended for them. But it's not true, because many schools abroad, if you are able to prove to the admission committee that you are an exceptional candidate, you can get the admission and you can get the scholarship, right? And oftentimes they got scholarship. It was not full scholarship from the onset, but they were able to combine scholarships, just like you were explaining. They able to combine scholarships to for them to cover their expenses. So I would say that poor grade is not a limitation. We have living witnesses that have gotten admission, that have gotten scholarship abroad with third class. So poor grade is not a limitation. But the thing now is that if somebody just say, oh, the leader said poor grade is not a limitation, so they just go out tonight and shoot out all the applications like this, that's how the disappointment letter will just be coming like
rejections.
Too, you know? So the thing is that your grade does not define you, but your other documents have to be excellent and top notch. The question is, how do you make those documents excellent and top notch if you don't even know what they're expecting? This is where training comes in. So oh God! Like
let me just say that one of the documents I think you're referring to is the CV, for example. So I used to think that I was the expert in CV writing. I had my CV, and each time my colleagues looked at it, they're like, "Oh my goodness, you have so much, you know, and you're definitely going to be picked." But when I saw your template for CVs, I looked at mine again, and I was like, "This is not good work. I need to follow this template and produce a quality research oriented CV." And I did that, and even me, I could feel it that this was good, right? It communicated clearly what I had done in the past, even some of the things that I took for granted. So I agree with you. Something as simple as a CV, if you're not getting it right, if you're not communicating right with it, that admission is a forgotten issue for you. So what else apart from CVs?
Can I add something that you know, even to expand the importance? Do you know, I have a client. I had lots of people that moved to UK recently, so I'm just giving an example from their cases, right? This lady, and
congratulations, by the way.
I interviewed her on my work, and she was saying that her CV is working wonders. Like, it's even thrilling to me. So she said after she got her admission and she was she got partial scholarship, she was preparing for her trip. Admission and she got partial scholarship. She was preparing for her trip. She just used her CV to apply for a job. She said employers will call her and they were tripping, and this is no joke. She even said it on the live session. They'll be like, "Are you in UK already?" She said no. They'll say, "As soon as you arrive, give us a call." And that lady, by the time I was interviewing her, that was about 1 month after she had arrived. She did some application on Saturday. By Monday, she have already had 7 people call her. And guess what? When they call her, unlike a situation where they will say, "Okay, let's interview you," they will say, "Let's interview you quite well." But when they get to the interview, she noticed that they're not asking her about, like, "Okay, so what have you done?" This. Why? Because her CV communicated. They will come for interview, they'll jump to salary. "So how much do you want us to pay you?" And she's like, wait, is this not supposed to be an interview? This is because they've already made up their mind. Like, he's like, "Can we see you? Can you come? Like, let's jump on Zoom call," just because of CV. So like, just like you said, sometimes people will look at it like, and there are some people I've worked with, they'll be like, "I've been writing CV for 12 years. I'll say, "Brother, no verse. I know they're here to drag with you now. No verse."
It's amazing. It's amazing. You know? And I think something else is also the personal statement, the statement of purpose. Initially, I wasn't familiar with statement of purpose and how to write a very good one. But I'm not trying to promote Vantage migration unnecessarily, but you guys opened my eyes to what it means to write a quality statement of purpose. Just even using those sample templates helped me. This is not even a hype. This is for real. So it helped me frame my essays. At the point, I think I wrote up to 6-7 pages, and I remember sharing it with you and saying, please help me review this. And you're like, this is too long. And I had to go and cut it down, and eventually, it went through. So I believe you when you say that your organization really does hold people's hands and walks them through the entire process. And I'm telling everyone that this is true. And so if you want to be a part of this, keep your eye on Opportunity Desk for opportunities, but also get in touch with Vantage Migration. They would help you secure admission and scholarship. So just one more thing. People are asking about the templates. Please reach out to Vantage Migration and they will share that with you.
They can
directly,
just go to the webinar.
Not on the chat.
Yeah, they can just go to the webinar.
The webinar, exactly.
Did they get the link?
So go to www.vantagemigration.ca. vantagemigration.ca. If you check the pinned comment, you'll find the link there. Attend the free webinar and you'll get information about how to access the templates for personal statements, CVs, statements of purpose, even letters to professors, and almost all the documents you will need for your admission and scholarship. It's not difficult at all. Thank you so much, Dr. Linda. You've shared quite a lot. You've shared quite a lot.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful that we're able to make this happen.
Yes,
I look forward to hosting you on future live programs. So Linda has offered to do 2 more live sessions with us before the end of the year. And just in case you didn't know, we had our OD Impact Challenge last year. And Linda Iheme was a big sponsor for that competition. The winner went away with cash prize of $500, and he also won a fully funded trip to the Netherlands for a mini MBA program, which he will be part of later in the year. Vantage Migration made that possible. They have invested in the growth of graduates across the world. They are making it happen. We've seen it firsthand at Opportunity Desk. They've been of help to our users. And so we are so proud to be associated with them to introduce them to you.
Thank you.
If you have more questions, email Vantage Migration, and we'll be sure to answer them. But for now, we would like to say
thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you, Linda. Any last words before we go?
Yeah. Well, okay. The last word I'll have for that for somebody that is watching us now is attend the webinar, because it will help you. It will open your eyes more. We've talked here, and sometimes it could be like, it could look like, okay, maybe we're jumping from one topic to another. But when you attend the webinar, it's structured. You will sit down, you will listen, and we also did question and answers for the webinar, so the person will be able to see questions. Plus, they will also see how to contact me directly, or myself and my team, if they have further questions. So that's the best thing the person can do for themselves, to attend that webinar at www.vantagemigration.ca. I always like to spell it so that somebody that you say, oh, what's the spelling? VantageMigration.ca, and your life will not remain the same. That's just what I have to say.
Exactly. The best investment anyone can make is the investment in yourself, personal development. So the webinar is free, but even if you have to pay for this, even if you have to pay for something, it should be something you do gladly. It should be something you do knowing that the return on investment is going to be very high. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now, you're going to look back and you say, I do not regret making that choice. I do not regret investing in my personal development. So I'm encouraging everyone to do this. And if you do need further help, I have also written a book called The Go Global with Opportunities book. It's available online. Go on the website or send us an email or email, and we're going to respond to you. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the holiday and have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you so much, Linda. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye.